Hello, how are you all? Welcome along to Jeff Stamps. Please subscribe. I would really appreciate that. If you have time, just click the subscribe and the bell icon. You know the story. Anyway, we are going to talk about some Australian stamps, and I have an arrival here. So I will just open that up with my handy pocket knife. And I'm not sure what's in here. Okay, could be some colonial stamps. Okay, past this sticky tape here. Here we go. Boy, oh boy. Sticky tape didn't want to let go. I'm just organising myself here. All right. Well, the first one is a penny red, as you can see. That's got a WC cancel on there. It's a fairly clean looking stamp from the front. Bit of an ugly hinge there on the back. Yeah, it's having trouble focusing there. So the penny red was a British postage stamp, and that was issued in 1841. And this stamp succeeded the penny black, which was the first postage stamp in the world, and continued as the main type of postage stamp in the United Kingdom and also Ireland as well, I believe, until 1879, with only minor changes to the design during that time. The colour was changed from black to red because of the difficulty in seeing a cancellation mark on the penny black. And a black cancellation mark was readily visible on a penny red. You can see that is nice and clear on the penny red, that black cancellation mark. So what else did we get here? Another penny red. Let's have a look at this one. Yep, and what's the reverse like? Yep, a hinge as well. but they're pretty old stamps, so, you know, I like the, even though it's got a hinge on the back, I do like the stamp, the condition of the stamp, 1841. Beggars can't be choosers. And what have we here? That's King George V, 4p. And fairly clean there. So yeah, there's a colonial King George V 4p stamp. A bit of a cancel there on the side. I'll put those over to the side there. I'm actually expecting quite a few Queen Victoria stamps, and those Queen Victoria stamps are from Queensland, when Queensland had its own stamps. So each state had their own stamps. I think Queensland was the last state to issue their own stamps. And then, of course, we got the nationwide stamps, and all the states stopped issuing their own stamps, and we have the Commonwealth of Australia stamps these days. So we had colonial stamps, pre-decimal stamps as well, and our decimal stamps, which we have today as well. So the 6 self-governing Australian colonies that formed the Commonwealth of Australia, that was on the 1st of January 1901, operated their own postal service, and as I mentioned, issued their own stamps. And you know, there's articles you can look up on the systems of New South Wales. The first stamps were issued in 1850, Victoria, 1850 Tasmania, 1853 Western Australia had their own stamps, 1854 South Australia had their own stamps, 1855 South Australia 1855, and Queensland had their own stamps in 1860, being the last state to have issued their own Queensland stamps featuring Queen Victoria, which I'll show you those in an upcoming episode. I'm expecting some of those state stamps to arrive fairly soon. But Section 51 of the Australian Constitution empowered the Commonwealth to make laws in respect of postal, telegraphic, telephonic and other like services. So the Commonwealth created the Postmaster General's Department on the 1st of March 1901, which took over all the colonial mail systems and the then current colony stamps. These stamps continued to be valid and became de facto Commonwealth stamps. And some of these stamps continued to be used for some time following the introduction in 1913 of the Commonwealth's Uniform Postage Stamp Series. And these stamps continued to be valid for postage until the 14th of February 1966, when the introduction of decimal currency invalidated all stamps bearing the earlier currency. But for most Australian stamp collectors and for most Australian philately proper begins on the 2nd of January 1913, 12 years after Federation, with the issue of a red 1 penny Kangaroo and Map, which I do not have. I don't have a red penny Kangaroo and Map, and I'm after one, so hopefully I'll have one fairly soon. But that red 1 penny Kangaroo and Map, the design of which was adopted in part from the entry that won the stamp design competition, and this was the first definitive stamp with the sole nomenclature Australia. So this This is Australia's first national stamp, the Kangaroo stamp of 1913, which did not pointedly include a royal British monarch. Soon, however, a Britain-friendly member of the new Australian government issued stamps featuring a likeness of King George V, and those stamps are highly collectible in their various forms. So Australia's first national stamps, the Kangaroo stamps of 1913. I do not have the red 1 penny, but this will give you an idea. And there they are. Featuring the Kangaroo and Map, the design that was adopted in part from an entry that won the stamp design competition. This was Australia's first definitive stamp. I might just grab one of those. Oop, that's not wanting to come out, that one. Let's have a look. There we go. Sorry about that. See a light hinge on the back. In pretty good nick. Yep. Stamps back in there. So I thought you may find that interesting. Just straighten up this camera here. So I mentioned that these Kangaroo stamps did not include a royal, Australia's first national stamps were the Kangaroo stamps of 1913, which did not include a royal British monarch. But soon after, as mentioned, a Britain-friendly member of the new Australian government issued stamps featuring a likeness of King George V, and I mentioned they're highly collectible in their various forms. So I have this page marked here. And so I'll add this one in here now. The fourpence that I've just put in there now. So some of those stamps here, just excuse me, I'll lift this camera up, give you a better look. These are the King George V, which I mentioned. These definitives. Some featuring those on-service OS perforations. You might have seen some of those stamps there in a previous video. And I've got some more on the way as well. King George VI there. Here's South Australia Council there. King George V. And while we're on the subject of King George V, I just want to show you a fairly recent issue here. This is the centenary of stamps 1914 to 2014. Featuring those stamps that we just showed you in this commemorative issue of the centenary of stamps, King George V. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please subscribe and click that bell icon, and I'll be back again fairly soon with another stamp video, and hopefully I'll be able to show you those various Australian state stamps featuring Queen Victoria. Have a great day, whatever you're doing. Thank you again for watching. Please subscribe, and as I said before, I'll be back soon. Bye for now.